Good afternoon, traders and investors. It's Will here with another one. Hope you guys had a beautiful day today. I'm wearing my short sleeve shirt today because it's an absolute scorcher up here in Canada. Summer is finally underway. Spent 2 hours at the park just chilling, just touching some grass, as they say, right? And just enjoying the moment, guys. You know what I mean? Just enjoy the moment. Take some time off, take some time to breathe, guys. Don't forget, life is not only about material things and material possessions, it is about experiences as well, getting to know yourself better too, and really keeping a balance with everything in your life, right? Relationships, spirituality, health, fitness, right? And also finances. It's a balancing act if you truly want to be fulfilled, right? Not only charts, money, money, money. So with that being said, however, I do want to get into the indexes today, and we have a big day today because it's the monthly closes. So I'm going to spend a bit less time on the indexes and a bit less time on the daily intraday patterns and whatnot. And I want to spend some time on a lot of different names and see how the market's setting up here for the foreseeable future into the summer, right? So let's go over these quickly. Over the heat map, as you can see, guys, today was a bit of a mixed day. We did end up red on the day with SPY down roughly over 0.5%. QQQ down roughly over 0.5% too. But as you can see, guys, we did get some participation from our healthcare sector, right? So this is one that kind of has been lagging behind, that I've kind of been frustrated at for not providing that participation when SPY needed it the most. And today it did show up in a big way. So you can see that most of our sectors here were red on the day, but healthcare put in a very, very decent move. And we also had some participation from some stocks that had been getting beat down over the past few weeks. So let's get into a bit more of that. So looking at SPY here, the bulls are doing a very good job of holding our daily uptrend intact. As you can see, we rejected here from the 12 moving average. So in my opinion, as long as the bulls continue to hold this 12 EMA, they remain in full control on the weekly as well. As you can see, we still have a lot of space. The line in the sand level for me is still around 410 here, 410, 411, right? To keep that weekly trend intact. So far, so good. As we can see, the bulls are healthy. And as long as we continue to get some rotation from either XLF, XLV, or QQQ, SPY will remain in good shape. Looking at QQQ, another profit-taking day, not suffice it to say, right? After this absolutely monstrous move here, as of last Thursday, going up over 7% in 4 sessions, which is massive, guys, right? Kind of a bit of a blow off top yesterday, so was due for some consolidation. That was perfectly normal, to be expected. Weekly is a way off from our moving average here, so we could even expect some weekly consolidation, which was what I was saying yesterday. If we do get it though, guys, we need some participation from XLF and XLV so that SPY continues to grind higher, even if QQQ does decide to take a few weeks off after having pushed up so high. But if you want to see where this move is going to stop, anything above at this point, 330 is going to be a higher low. And I'm expecting, because we've created so much space, this to be a higher low, potentially around here is what I'm expecting, right? So previous resistance is new support. It would be a nice little confluence as well with this 12 EMA. So looking down here at 337 kind of for support, but always keep in mind, look at the 4 hour, right? So if you want to know when our daily consolidation is done, you need the 4 hour bulls to reverse the trend into their favor. As of now, they've kind of set a big leg down, haven't really taken a breather. I expect now at this point, any move up to be met possibly with a further leg down, confirming a 4 hour downtrend, which would just provide more daily consolidation. Very, very healthy. However, guys, don't take my tone the wrong way. We are looking for higher lows compared to our previous lows, higher lows compared to our previous lows, right? Tons and tons of space. Bulls remain in full control. What you want to see on the monthly, right? Look at the monthly here. On the futures, you'll see it a bit better. Monthly doji candle, right? Pointing to the upside for the month of May. So still good. We're above our moving averages. We do have the MACD pointing to the upside. RSI is above our average. So this technically is a bullish trend on SPY. QQQ accentuates that even more. As you can see, monthly close for May was a very, very bullish close here in terms of just candle formations. We're now well above our moving averages. RSI is decently above its average as well. And as you can see, the MACD finally put in a green print on, right now we're starting the month of June. It finally crossed at the end of May here, and we're kind of curling up into that positive momentum territory. So very, very, very interesting thing to be on the lookout for coming into next month. Now, getting into financials held the line in the sand level for me that I was stating yesterday. We opened the morning relatively negative, and then over the course of the afternoon, the bulls bought that dip hard, right? So we had some pretty bad news on the regional banks this morning. There was just pretty much noise at this point, guys. Further concerns that the regional banks weren't well capitalized. But if you guys listened to Jamie Dimon speak, I believe it was early last week, he was saying how well the large cap banks were capitalized and the system as a whole, how little credit risk there actually was there. So, bit of a non-factor for me, this whole banking crisis. It's just noise at this point, in my opinion. Line in the sand level remains for me on XLF 3170, this purple line. Why? Because it is our previous level of support now, going back all the way through March, so pretty much 2 months worth of support. Would not want to see this break. If you do want to see this tightening range keep on playing out. So eventually what you want to see the bulls do, you want to see them put in a nice move to the upside and then reverse into a daily uptrend. Haven't had a daily uptrend in a while. That's what I'm looking out for on XLF. If we do, however, break down to lower levels, I do feel that the 30 level down here is a great level to be writing some puts for the long term. Would not mind owning financials, especially on the index here, for the long term in the 30 area. But for now, we're going to hope that the bulls can put in some good work to reverse into potentially a daily uptrend. That's what we need to see. If QQQ starts falling off, need participation from XLF. On the monthly, as you can see, not much to see here, right? So we are still trying to set our monthly high or low, right? This compared to this, right? We're trying to consolidate that. And now we need to see some further participation over the remainder of the year for our XLF bulls, or we will kind of be trapped in a monthly tightening range, perhaps, right? So that's not what you want to see. You really want to see them hold these levels and start pushing to the upside. XLV on the day was our savior. If not, SPY would have been considerably more red. So as you can see, guys, after being down so many consecutive days, right? Look at this, like gap down opens, right? Continuing to flush. We finally got a very bullish day on XLV, right? From the bottom, you're talking about a 1.5, 1.6% move almost. Only shows 0.86, but that is because we did gap down today and did only close, right? So this candle went a lot lower. So as you can see, big move, bottom to top. That's what you want to see. You want to see the bulls come into a big area of support like this and have a large reaction, which is what we were predicting yesterday, as a matter of fact. So on the weekly, we were looking for a higher low. Is this move going to be enough to actually set it? Well, we've been moving down now, guys, for 6 weeks in a row. So you would want to see the bulls start to take over now, especially since I was showing you guys the fib, right? We came down so low into this move, 78, almost 80% of the move up. So now, unfortunately, any move up, in my opinion, will just be for a lower high, and we may have to gain some more accumulation before being finally able to put in a further leg up and change the weekly trend. If we V-shape, I would be very surprised. Obviously, everything's possible, but it's just we've come down too much to kind of expect that. I'm expecting more something like this for healthcare, which could take a while to play out. But it's good to see that bulls have finally put in a very nice candle. We'll want to see continuation. We'll want to see the bulls create as much space as possible. So when they do start to pull back, the most likely scenario does become just a higher low compared to our previous low and start a new daily uptrend that, frankly, we have not seen since all the way back here in end of March as well. Congratulations to healthcare bulls today. So sorry about that. I just want to look at the monthly real quick. So monthly, we're still really in this massively tightening range. We really haven't done much now for the past better part of the last year and a half, right? We're kind of just stuck here, but that's good. Anything that just accumulation at the higher range, at the higher end, of this market movement is very good. Keep in mind on healthcare, we're not that far off of all-time highs, only about 10% off. So it's really good that the bulls have been able to kind of stop the bleeding and not go down too much compared to some of our other sectors. So this is still looking bullish long-term, rejecting off the 12 monthly EMA, and is given our RSI, which was very overbought here late 2021. It's giving us a long time to kind of cool off, accumulate more shares in this range before we can potentially see that further upswing when, you know, some and most of the recession fears will be taken off the table. Now, looking at the Russell doing absolutely nothing again, right? So we're kind of still consolidating in this range. So you guys know it the best. The time frame for me at this point is going to be the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour downtrend at this point. Need to see the bulls put in a good enough move so that you can create some space to create the higher low and reverse the 4-hour uptrend. Only at that point can I start looking higher to the daily time frame to start to target the higher end of our range. As of now, really happy, but you guys know me. If we do start to break down a bit lower, I'm looking for right puts between the 164 to 169 range, which has been my range here for the better part of the last 2 months at this point, right? Anytime we get close to here, I do not mind writing options. I would love to be assigned some of the index down there because I do believe that it is one of our heaviest lagging sectors. As you guys can see, still 30% roughly off of our all-time highs. And I do believe that as the recession fears kind of get alleviated, and if we do get broad market participation, don't fade the growth stocks. The growth stocks could put in some very big moves, right? Especially since they've been beaten down so much. So on the Russell, we're really looking for our level to hold here. I would say about, roughly this 172-ish area is going to be my major area of support. However, if we do break down there, I will be writing options down in this lower end of the range. But bull's doing a great job here of just kind of maintaining their support of the 172 area. So obviously, guys, downside levels right down here. And we also have the upside range. Until then, we're really just stuck in a range. I don't want to spend too much time on it, right? Even on the monthly, we're kind of just stuck in this whole tightening range here, just kind of accumulating down here. You could argue now that, momentum is done, getting absolutely destroyed and we're kind of leveling out here, but it's really good. The reason why, as you can see, I love this area because it was previous resistance for a long time. Now it's been support for a long time. So that is my target area if I am looking to accumulate some of the Russell shares. Dow Jones continuing to look like healthcare before it lost it, right? So look at this healthcare consolidation and look at the Dow Jones consolidation. Is it going to be the same? Are we going to get a flush? Remains to be seen. However, this at the moment is still a weekly bull flag. We are looking for a weekly higher low compared to our previous low. So how do you know that the weekly higher low is going to be set? In my opinion, you have to wait for the daily trend reversal. So now we have our low set. Now we made a nice move up here. Remains to be seen. Is this the higher low? Can we get a daily uptrend started? That is what I'm looking for to know if our weekly bull flag has completed for potential run to the upside. So take a look at this, guys. This is a very important setup because if we just continue to go lower and make lower lows, then the bulls need to restart again. We're going to have to eventually do something like this. So as soon as I get that confirmed breakout here, it leads me to believe that the weekly higher low is set, and I'll be looking more into some of the value names that have been beaten down, especially names like Nike, right? So Dow Jones, that's pretty much it for the Dow Jones. On the monthly, as you can see, we're just really holding and grinding our support here roughly around 32.6, 32.5. So until we either break that level or start to move above it, right, we're really just trapped in this kind of tight range that we've been in here for the past kind of like 6 months, right? Really ugly. However, I do have a technical pattern lookout for you guys. Could possibly be a weekly inverse head and shoulders bullish pattern, but we do need to start to reverse the daily and get a weekly push into here to start believing that that pattern has more of a chance to actually come through. Bitcoin, okay. Bitcoin's a bit of a funny one, all right? I'm not too sure what the bulls are expecting if they can't follow through on their moves, right? So as I was saying yesterday, what we had a very nice breakout here, engulfing breakout of our previous lows. We made a very nice move up. I was expecting the most likely scenario to be a higher low compared to our previous low at around 26,000, 25,800, 900 if you want to call it, right? So far we did do some good work today in bringing back this move. So let's take it one time frame at a time. We're looking for a daily higher low compared to our previous low. How do you know if that's set? We have to look on the lower time frames now, on the 4 hour, right? 4 hour, this is potentially going to be a 4 hour downtrend, but what you want to see is you want to see the bulls put in as much work as possible so that they have a chance of stopping it and reversing a potential 4 hour downtrend into a 4 hour uptrend. How do you know if that's going to happen on the 4 hour? Go down to the 1 hour, right? What's happening on the 1 hour? Push move lower, rejected. Now, new hourly uptrend. Need to keep this hourly uptrend intact if we want to be able to move on to the other time frames, play into our 4-hour higher low potential, and then play into a daily confirmed higher low and into a potential daily uptrend here. So the bulls have a lot of work to do, but it all starts with keeping this hourly trend change in motion. As you can see, this hourly candle closes in roughly 10 minutes. I would like to see some bigger green candles from the bulls, because at this point, you know, they're just kind of selling off every move up, which is not what you want to see. Excuse me, I have something in my eye, which is not what you want to see from the bulls. They're really respecting this down trending channel here. Not the best look in my opinion. However, we have created enough space that now we are above a potential horizontal previous support, previous resistance area, right? So we're really close to it, kind of coming back into it as resistance now at this point. Remains to be seen if bulls can really push above and hold above that. I would love to see it. That would increase the probability. But if you're looking for numbers, well, if we do start to move down, guys, the move to 25,000 would become more likely at this point as this pattern kind of plays out. However, levels to the upside need to break 28,500 at this point to set a daily uptrend in motion, which would then be leading us into the high 29s thereafter, right? On the weekly. That's what you want to see. You want to see this actually having been the weekly bottom and potential for a weekly follow through move, but the bulls need to show up in a big way. Now, also, sorry, I need to look at the monthly before that. So monthly chart, right? Monthly chart is looking fairly decent. If you can look at the MACD here, you'll see that the MACD is wanting so bad to cross over. Our RSI is above its average, which is also currently bullish. Monthly, anything pretty much at this point, right? Anything above 20,000 is going to be just a monthly higher low. So there's tons of space, guys, right? If this was our monthly higher low, so be it. But this is so much space that the most likely scenario becomes a higher low, right? So that's what I'm looking for on the monthly. We're still above our monthly moving averages. The month closes today in about 8 minutes on my chart here. So we should still close above. In my opinion, bullish pattern, however, slow, really slow. Crypto, you kind of want to see it move faster than this. But it's no secret that when crypto is not in favor, it does move slow. So just be patient and watch out for the patterns to complete itself. Most important time frame, in my opinion, at this point is the daily time frame, right? Do not want to lose this area right here that we're sitting on currently. If not, further downside could potentially be expected. Now, moving in our big tech names, and we're going to go through a lot of names really quickly, guys, here. So bear with me, okay? So Apple, what is Apple doing? As you can see, daily, we have come to a position where we're now setting 2 daily doji candles. Now, Apple has done this in the past. However, the difference is we've gapped up into them, right? So at this point, anything above 171 is just going to be a daily higher low. But Apple looking like it does kind of want to at least, you know, fizzle out and kind of sit on this area, which was previous resistance, now using it as support. So as long as we don't see Apple flush, right? Anything above, we're just looking for a daily higher low. How do you know that it's been set? Keep an eye on the 4-hour, guys. If we can't even lose 4-hour 12 EMA, then the bears really have their work cut out for them, right? So Apple doing a very good job, playing some good defense here on the 4-hour EMA. Levels to the upside here remaining to be watched are 180 for resistance. And like I said, line in the sand for the daily and weekly is going to be 171. Bulls are in absolute full control, despite the fact that we are getting kind of overbought on the weekly RSI and the daily RSI is kind of high. But, you know, if bears can't capture those lower time frames, don't expect them to capture the daily and the weekly either, right? Monthly looking excessively strong for Apple. Look at this monthly close, guys. Very strong monthly chart. And as you can see, guys, monthly RSI is wanting to cross bullish for the first time since the drop early January 2022. Looking very good for Apple. Not a lot of negative catalysts on the board for Apple either at this point. So without any participation from the bears and without any bad macro, it would stand to argue that this uptrend could continue on Apple. could very well continue just off the technicals alone, right? So very, very, very bullish. Congratulations to Apple bulls. Amazon, let's look at this too. We were just expecting anything over 114.3 roughly. 114 was going to be a higher low. The bears are doing some decent work, trying to put in some decent candles here. But as you can see, doji's on the bottom, which leads us to believe that our bulls are relatively strong. We are doing a great job on the 4 hour here of holding the moving averages, not allowing the bears really to confirm any form of significant 4 hour downtrends before, right? Try to confirm it here. The bulls just start reversing it, right? Don't allow the bears through. And that's basically the line in the sand level for me. 114.30 on the downside. To the upside, obviously, we're looking at a break of 123. If you want to look at the further levels of resistance, I would say that they're actually up into the 130 to 135 area for the next supply zone target, which is what the bulls want to do. We're now sitting above our 200 weekly moving average here. Very, very good for Amazon. Bulls are in full control at this point, right? Especially this pattern, just looking for a higher low, guys. That's all we're looking for continuation, right? If you want to see on the monthly, look at the monthly, guys. Very, very, very bullish. Look at this MACD. MACD wants to start to come back to positive territory. Just now, RSI is above its average. First time since, right? Long time, guys. Long time that the RSI is now trending. Hasn't been trending above, right? So keep that in mind. We're reversing at this point 1 to 1.5 year signals on the monthly, right? Very, very, very notable to me. Bullish monthly candle close would not surprise me if Amazon still does have room to move. However, if we do start to consolidate further on to daily, we're just looking for weekly consolidation at that point. Nothing to worry about at this point on this chart whatsoever. Just be patient. Google, same thing, right? Google, same thing. We are just looking on the weekly for, well, that's a bit far, that's a bit much. Weekly consolidation, right? Anything at this point, so much space, anything above 105.70, 106 will just be a weekly high or low, right? On the daily too, I'm expecting the bulls to really hold this area. Why this area? Because it's a very, very significant previous area of resistance, which we should now be using as support. So that is the level for me. Any dip into this area, I will be writing puts near the gap fill here zone, right? So around the 114 is the area that I want to target to be writing options in. If ever we get down there, would just be an opportunity for a bounce, in my opinion, would just be looking for a weekly high or low. So much potential support that could come in previously. I'm targeting the higher end of this area, but if we break through, that's why I'm targeting the mid-range here, right? So bulls in absolute full control. You either want to see a break of the 120 high 126 is 127, or if we break down below, that's the area that I'm targeting down here, guys. Very, very bullish on Google. Monthly close, look at this, guys. Look at this, right? So same thing, right? The RSI is now positive ever since the drop, right? December, January 2022. RSI is now above its average here, as you can see, and the MACD wanting to cross above. Bullish candle close on Google. Would not surprise me if Google still has some gains to come as well. Microsoft, oof, that monthly chart is nasty. And by nasty, I mean nasty in a good way, right? So starting on the daily first, what we were expecting, kind of like Apple, right? Very, very big move off of our most recent daily high or low. Most likely scenario is we're going to set another one. I'm just looking for a daily high or low. Anything above 312.50 at this point will just be that daily high or low. So as you can see, bears are coming down here. Just looking on the 4 hour here to grind some of our moving averages. As you can see, bears are struggling. We're not flushing. We're not flushing, and that's what I love to see. I love to see a slow move down, right? So a couple candles up, then a very slow move by the bears down, meeting a lot of resistance here on the lower time frames. You can see that the bulls are not making it easy for them. It's not a flush, right? So very, very good movement here. We're just expecting a daily high or low, potentially somewhere near the moving averages. Have tons of space though, guys. And on the weekly, same thing, right? On the weekly, if we would somehow lose the daily time frame, at this point, we're just looking for a weekly high or low. Tons and tons and tons of space. 305 pretty much is the area that I'm going to be watching for that. So Microsoft bulls are in absolute full control at this point. Weekly is slightly overbought here. Nothing much to worry about. Look at this monthly chart though. Same thing. MACD at this point. First bullish print, green print here on the MACD ever since the drop. And now we're RSI significantly pushing above now. Very, very good signal. Bullish candle close for the most part here. Would not surprise me if Microsoft also has more room to move. Even if it does potentially need to consolidate for a few weeks, that really won't matter in the grand scheme of things, especially when you have monthly charts looking like this, right? No, before Tesla, let's look at Meta for a bit. So Meta, look at this monthly chart on Meta, right? So going on to the daily, then we'll get back to this. Daily time frame, what were we expecting? We were just expecting a daily higher low. Anything above this purple line, which was pretty much 245.50-ish, would have just been a daily higher low. That's what kind of the bulls try to do today. Is it set? Very possibly. Got a very nice rejection here on the 4-hour off of our 12 EMA here. So it's possible that our daily higher low is already set and Meta's going to go for some more. So levels of resistance going to be obviously our 269. Support does stay put down here in case this is just maybe an extended daily move down if tomorrow is a red day. Tons and tons of space, guys. Just looking for the daily higher low. May or may not be set. That remains to be seen if we can push higher or if tomorrow moves lower. Weekly as well, right? Weekly, this chart, this and Microsoft really not giving the bears much chances, right? They really don't like, you know, when they set weekly higher lows, it's kind of like at the, see, move up here, it sets it at the top end of the range, right? Move up here, it sets it at the top end of the range. It really doesn't give much back. So that's, I'm kind of looking at a continuation of that pattern, right? So at this point on the weekly, it's a bit lower than our daily. On the weekly here, anything above 230 is going to be a weekly higher low, right? Daily has a lot of room to lose the higher lows, but then again, we do have more space to lose the weeklies, right? So bulls are in absolute full control of this chart. Weekly is slightly overbought here, right? So I'm not a buyer up here, but I understand if it does continue to push higher on the monthly time frame. Phenomenal monthly time frame. Eventually, we are going to have to pull back and set a monthly higher low, but not looking like it wants to do it right now. The MACD is crossing bullish, has crossed bullish now for 2 months, right? So Meta, you can argue that it's leading the rest of big tech. RSI well above. Very bullish monthly chart. Eventually, it will have to pull back and set some form of monthly higher low. May not give back huge, right? It may only just puddle around here for a month or two and then just continue a push up as it's done so many times, you know, so many times in the past, right? Where it just grinds higher, doesn't even really set them in these big formations, right? So we could be entering grind mode. Very bullish for Meta. Keep an eye on the daily first for losing those time frames or not, right? Now, let's get into NVIDIA. Let's do NVIDIA first. Sure, let's do NVIDIA. So you guys are going to love this monthly chart too. So daily on NVIDIA, as we said yesterday, blow off top, guys. I don't really care what anybody says at this point. It was a blow off top, but the bulls still remain in full control of the larger time frames. We run the risk of some daily consolidation here, right? So the further we pull back, in my opinion, the better, because we do need to cool off extremely overbought RSI. So as you can see, NVIDIA, right, top to bottom over the last 2 days, that is a good 10%, has been very volatile since earnings, but it's normal. It has so much money being thrown at it and taking profit now that it will be volatile over the next few days and weeks, in my opinion. But what we're looking for here at this point, since the daily is confusing, since we are in kind of price discovery mode at this point, right? Previous resistance will be our previous all-time highs, anywhere between 335 and 345. We are potentially looking for a bit of this gap to fill. I don't need the entire gap to fill, because that would be obviously a ridiculous move down. And if we do get a massive gap fill like that, the next candle, right, would not look very good at all. So previous areas of support, right down here to previous all-time highs. What we're looking for at this point is just a weekly higher low. Anything above the pre-earnings launch, pretty much 284. Anything above that will just be a weekly higher low. NVIDIA, in my opinion, soon is going to have to allow for the weekly moving averages to catch up. Weekly RSI is still extremely overbought. I agree, it can stay overbought for quite some time as it has come back here. But now, guys, this is kind of an extreme move, in my opinion. So I would not be opposed to seeing, you know, some slow consolidation down here. The longer that it kind of slowly consolidates, the better it is for your momentum indicators, because your RSI will drop off on the daily, on the weekly as well, and price won't move too much. So that's what you want. You want NVIDIA to consolidate at the higher end of the range here. So support levels, 367, and then we have the gap fill. And obviously resistance, well, it's going to be our new all-time high, 420, but I am expecting further consolidation on NVIDIA. Tesla, Very, very, very bullish, especially to end the month, guys. You can't wait for this, right? So this has been my area of contention on Tesla. I said that the bulls absolutely needed to hold this to set the daily higher low. Now you can see they have done it. We have successfully created a bullish uptrend, a very, significant bullish uptrend in my opinion, right? So anything now above 180, in my opinion, will just be a daily higher low. Remains to be seen until we break the previous high. Can't tell you if this is our new daily higher low. It definitely looks very bullish on the 4-hour when you drop down because we're just grinding that 4 EMA high, that 12 EMA higher on the 4-hour, right? Not allowing the bears to set a 4-hour downtrend. So very, very nice, in my opinion. Most likely, I don't want to speak too soon, but most likely 195 will be your new higher low. At this point, I'm eyeing our previous area of resistance, which is anywhere between 210 to 217. I need to see this area smashed in a convincing way. And then in my opinion, guys, it's off to 230 to challenge these guys. One thing at a time though, really need to break these guys. But with the momentum that we have, right? With the momentum now on the weekly as well, would not surprise me if the most likely scenario is a weekly move up to here, and then we kind of relax, come back on, sit on these guys, and really set a significant weekly uptrend in motion for Tesla. Tesla obviously lagging behind the rest of our big tech, still 51% off of all-time highs. Keep that in mind, guys. And on the monthly chart, look at this. Monthly higher low, in my opinion, most likely set. Very, very good. MACD starting to want to curl. The RSI now wanting to come back over its average. Haven't seen that since the drop, right? Haven't seen it since the drop. You can see where it aligns. Monthly uptrend is potentially in motion. We have now reversed this monthly downtrend, and now we've set a monthly higher low compared to our previous low. We are about, if next month we do break the highs, that'll be a confirmed monthly uptrend. I've been waiting for this for a while, and usually when they're the longer term patterns, guys, they start to become harder and harder to reverse. So a monthly trend change is significant on Tesla. I love, love, love to see this. So congratulations to the bulls. I am obviously holding this. If it does come down a bit more, areas I'm targeting at this point are the 190s to be writing options in. I know it's a little close, but I personally think that Tesla is due for some more upside here. Now, want to go over some of our crowd favorite stocks. PayPal actually doing a somewhat decent job of holding on here. Was getting nervous early in the morning today, right? Because we started off strong and then dumped into the open. True PayPal fashion, right? Same as yesterday, dump. Same as the day before. Thursday, look at Thursday, was also a dump straight from the open, right? But this time, we were actually able to hold it, right? So this looks a bit smoother on the 4-hour. What are we looking for? As I was saying, guys, we are looking for a 4-hour uptrend, and it may just now be set, right? We may have confirmed now at this point, if we can break out a 4-hour uptrend in the motion, this is the time frame that I'm looking at the most. You can see that we're now above our moving averages. The moving averages, the 12 is starting to want to curl above the 26. That has not happened since before our earnings drop. So very, very bullish signal there. MACD pointing to the upside too. On the daily time frame as well, you can see our daily MACD wants to also go green. And now we kind of want, the bulls have created some decent enough space, right? That any further continuation of the upside, I'm just going to be expecting a daily higher low and potential daily trend change. Very, very important, guys. But keep your eyes on the hourly. You do not want to see them roll over too much, right? You need to see them perpetuate this hourly trend change to the upside here, continue into the 4-hour uptrend, and only then will I be able to say, okay, we've created enough space on the daily that the next likely scenario becomes a daily higher low and move to the upside, right? Obviously, the weekly bears are going to be looking for a week. This is where you got to do really good time frame analysis. The bears at this point are looking for a weekly higher low, okay? A weekly lower high, excuse me, compared to this. They can get that, but as long as we then stop here and don't flush to lower lows, it could present an opportunity to reverse a weekly chart, okay? So keep in mind, the weekly bears are expecting a lower high, but We as bulls from the bottom, we need a daily trend change to carry us into there to create as much space. The bulls need to create as much space as possible into this down move that the most likely scenario becomes pushing higher, okay? So keep that in mind. If you want to see how that plays out on the weekly, obviously, if we only bounce this much and give it all back and come back to the lows, then you know that the bears are in full control of the weekly and they'll probably smash it lower. But if we can come all the way up here, imagine, and then the bears take a turn, well, the bulls have created so much space now into this move that the likely scenarios either become a tightening range or a flat out trend reversal. Okay, so it's all in the amount of space that you create from the bottom on names like this. Palantir. PayPal on the monthly. Well, not much to see PayPal on the monthly, honestly. Kind of bearish, you know, right? So we did come down, but wouldn't surprise me, guys, if we get a bullish month, you could get a green candle here. And if we green candle the entire next month, it would give us actually a very decent demand zone to potentially play off of. And whenever we've seen these, we've usually gotten some continuation, right? Demand zones are usually very powerful. So hopefully we do get something like that. The MACD, if it wasn't for earnings and whatnot, this already probably should have curled, but such as the cookie crumbles, right? So we're still patiently waiting on our lower time frames on PayPal. Palantir, right? You saw the monthly, right? Palantir, very, very, very bullish. It was able to set another daily higher low potentially. We may be due for some further upside on Palantir. As you can see, guys, we started off the day, we were down a lot, guys, on the day today. We were down at 1.6%, and the bulls were able to kind of recapture that right before close here. It kind of dropped after the hours, and I'll explain to you why. That's because C3 AI came out with their earnings, and this has been an AI play, right? So the time frame for me, you can see, guys, that we haven't really lost these moving averages much. They tend to get bought right back up. However, now with the after hours movement, remains to be seen how it's going to be playing out tomorrow. Key time frame for me is the 4 hour, okay? 4 hour. As if we lose the 4 hour uptrend at this point, right? If we lose the 4 hour uptrend and lose the 12 EMA, I'm going to be looking for further daily consolidation and potentially weekly consolidation as well. We're now extended off the moving averages, which is normal. It's been beaten down for a long time, but just keep that in mind, guys, right? So 1 hour, if we do see this, all this is the after hours move. You can see 4 o'clock, right? So if it wasn't for the after hours move, we would have just V-shaped pretty much, and I could confirm that this is a new daily higher low, right? But now remains to be seen the 4 hour. I hope this is not too confusing. The 4 hour, if we lose the 4 hour, you look for further daily consolidation. In my opinion, still anything above 1234 is just a daily higher low. So a lot of space for the bulls to pull back more before getting another stab at it, right? So that's what I'm looking for on Palantir. We are extended on the daily time frame. We're extended on the weekly as well, but the bulls have created enough space that anything at this point, the most likely scenario on the weekly is a higher low for further continuation. Why do I say that, guys? Look at the monthly. Going to be very hard for the bears to really do anything when you have a monthly candle like this, right? So maybe early next month, we get a little move down and then put in another candle to the upside. But keep in mind, guys, this is now a profitable company. It does respect the new AI meta, so to speak, okay? So potentially be able to see some really good things on Palantir for the remainder of the year. Keep this one on the watch list. I am a buyer. If it does come anywhere to 12 to 11, I will be writing some puts because this is previous support level. Obviously down here now at this point, previous support from these guys down in the $10 price range, but I'm satisfied anything $12 to $11. If you want, I usually don't like giving price targets, guys, but it would not surprise me if on Palantir we do start to head towards our previous range here between $18 to $20 for the remainder of the year. Would not be surprised if we get that. So still represents some decent upside from here on this stock. All right. So couple notable mentions. Schwab. I still like Schwab. Want to be writing options down here in the $50 range, $49.50. I am a buyer. I think that this is severely underpriced. I think it got hit way too hard, right? Notable mentions as well, if you want to look at AXP in the financial sector as well, I love AXP. Anything below 150, I'm an options writer here, so very, very good opportunities in my opinion on AXP. If you want to look at some of the value names here real quick, value names look like they want to be now kind of setting their weekly higher lows. So you'll see it here on McDonald's. We want to be setting that weekly higher low here. You'll see it on Pepsi. Pepsi wants to be setting its weekly higher low here as well. Coca-Cola is doing kind of the same, but Coca-Cola gave a lot of it back, keep in mind, right? But we are just looking for a weekly higher low. At this point, it's kind of ugly, right? It may turn into a tightening range on Coca-Cola. A few other names for notable mentions, right? You can have Nike, right? Nike has been one. It's been looking now to bottom out. Nike on the daily, extremely oversold in my opinion. This does remain a good purchase in the $100 range, right? I have route options here in the 105 down to 100 area here. So anything in this whole range here, in my opinion, is a decent area to be picking up Nike for the long term. Keep in mind, it is Nike. They have very good fundamentals, very good moat, obviously. And at this point in time, if they do get down to there, it'll be 42% off the all-time highs for a company like Nike, in my opinion. Very, very good value, right? Visa as well, looking to, at this point, Visa, you know, I kind of look at this as they want to set, looking on it on the monthly, right? So if you want to look at it on the monthly, we're looking to set somewhat of a monthly higher low compared to here. It's now been done. Remains to be seen if they can reverse this weekly time frame. But as you can see, we're just looking the patterns, guys. We're just looking to set global higher lows than previously, right? Much nicer on MasterCard. You can see it here, wants to set the higher lows, has that in motion. So a lot of value names, guys, doing the exact same things, okay? So maybe, just maybe, we may get some broad market participation from the rest of our sectors, which if QQQ does consolidate for a little bit and give our big tech names a bit of a breather, we may just get some good rotation into financials, a further rotation into healthcare, and some of our consumer staples and discretionary stocks, aka the Dow Jones stocks, all right? So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Consider liking it. If you did, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it, guys, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate all the people who have watched so far. It really makes me happy. See you tomorrow. I love you guys. Don't get too stressed out or emotional in trading. Just keep a level head, have your levels, and obviously if you're writing options, please guys, only write options if you're willing to actually wanting to buy the stock. That is the key for me. If I get assigned something, I want it to be something that I want to own at the price that I'm writing it on. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you once again. Peace.